The following is a presentation of the That Feeling Podcast Network, reminding you to always question the answers.
Eat it. Yeah. Eat the cake. Well, alright. I bet you thought you stumbled on another podcast. Of course you're right, but let me tell you about the contrast. It's really different, not an X in front of Comcast. We cover anime today and on the times past. Listen and learn in that order, then replay. Be entertained by Mac, Jackie, and EJ. Three hoes doing way more than the most, proving you can pay the lion, but it's all in the approach. Originals and sequels, the newbies and the Ichigos. The world's up in flames to the ones more peaceful. The weapons of the Shuto, manga, Naruto, Monkey D. Luffy, and a lot more that you know. Subscribe, hit the like, give the algorithm life once. We trying to get the same pie that Apple took a bite from. Join the conversation, let us know if you can relate. If not, you still might be forced to eat the cake. Anime, hey, eat the cake. Hey, anime, eat the cake. Anime, eat the cake. Anime, hey, eat the cake. Hey, anime, eat the cake. Anime, eat the cake. Anime.
Yo, what up, anime heads? I would say it's that time again, but you know, when you have three adults with different lives, it's hard to really schedule that whole setup. Hey, it's us again. But for those who do tune in and do listen to the podcast, thanks for rocking with us. Eat the Cake Crew is back, and it's been a while, but I do like to think that the silver lining of this is in between these breaks, more things come out for us to discuss on our show. And if you recall our last show, we talked about or revisited our spring picks to see if our hype was worth it. For the most part, there were some misses and some hits on those.
Good, but overall, yeah, there were still some really great picks.
Yep. So this episode, we're going to focus on just strictly summer anime. I know with school coming back and everything, people are like, why are you talking summer stuff? Because summer stuff is still going on and it's still going strong, right? So each of us got about two or three. If you're wondering why it's just the two of us, our third member, the life of the party, obviously, Jackie. She's in a different time zone, a few hours back, so it may be a little bit too early for her, but she knows when to jump in and join the show, so she may be jumping in a bit later. In the meantime, me and Eric, we shared some thoughts, shared some shows, some insight, so we could go ahead. Let me see, because all of this live stuff happening, I'm just like, do we have?
And there's a lot. I mean, it's no joke, and I know everybody's probably seen it. This summer has been packed
Right.
with shows,
Yeah,
packed properties that like a lot of new stuff, a lot of recurring stuff. It's been some. It's been this whole year has been lit, man. As far as like stuff coming out, it's been
Yeah.
awesome.
because the anime from late winter to spring all the way through to the summer, like it might be, and I know this is hyperbole. You know, a lot of people like to say that this might be the best year for anime in the last recent. And to their point, I mean, they can clearly probably argue that point. You know,
Yeah,
with what's
absolutely.
rolled out this year. But without further ado, let us get into our anime look ahead for summer 2026.
Nice. I
You
like
got
that.
the forecast screen in the background, so that just means let us talk about what is going on and kind of, I guess, our predictions on the shows that we're picking. So, you gave me the list of shows you got. Those definitely were in the mix. If we were able to talk about top five, definitely a couple of those shows would have been talked about for me. But tell the folks what your first show is.
All right, thanks, Willie. First pick for this is gonna be the Love Unseen Beneath the Clear Night Sky, and that's a long title, but and we've all talked about it before. Jackie's kind of broadened me and Willie's viewing
Mhm.
horizons, so we'll include some rom-coms because we're all guilty of sticking with the what we love and the norm, and we just want to see it keep rolling on. Hey, more shonen with some action and get it. It can be playing in the background, it keeps you going. But sometimes, like Jackie's shared with us, and we've learned, it's kind of nice to take a step back and watch something a little heartwarming, little bring your faith back into humanity kind of motions. And as we all know, anime's always got these, romantic stories about individuals who they may be facing some sort of significant, struggle that others may not know. Or, we've seen the disability ones where they're, they may be deaf or something along those lines. And you see this romance story. Well, this one centers around an individual. She's a university student who's a blind woman, and they do a great job. I mean, as you see with the art's beautiful. That usually happens with a lot of these rom-com slice of life kind of animes, is you get a lot of detail in the surrounding that really brings you to see the world that they're living in. It makes it kind of brings it to life. So
Mhm.
that one thing you can always count on when it comes to these forms of anime. But what I like about this one is the characters are very warm, and it brings you to like enjoy them. Just seeing them interact makes it feels uh like a group of friends that you would actually like to, like, hey, that'd be kind of cool to hang out with. And
Yeah.
s- the way in which the primary character and the man who loves her and she loves back interact with each other and the world around shows it kind of gives you an in-depth thing. It's vulnerable because she is blind, but at the
Yeah.
same time it's empowering because it shows how even in her blindness she has such independence and I don't know, the drive. She's like confident out, and trying to achieve her goals. And it kind of gives you that reinforcement to that, no matter the difficulties people face, if they're willing to strive and move forward and keep their head up, they can
Yeah.
really approach life and they have a life just like we do. It's just, you're getting to see the experiences that someone who may be facing these kinds of trials and obstacles in life, yet they live such a rich and involved life as well, and get to share the same kind of experiences a lot of others, gives you that that little spark of hope for the world, and that's nice to have every once in a while. So I highly recommend it. I mean, I haven't watched the whole thing, but let me give you some release details and information on it. Let's see. So it's still ongoing. The initial airing was July 6th of this year, and it goes through to September 21st. It's based on a light novel. Um, so let's see. I'm trying to find the actual studio here. Macaria is the studio, and
Mhm.
anyone who follows has probably seen other works that they've done that have actually been received very well. As far as they never skimp on the art and presentation. Audio quality is great. The voice acting is on top. It's top notch. So if you're looking for a feel good story, heartwarming story, this is one of those that that you could definitely tap into, get you through the summer if you need that little bit of romantic drama going on.
Yeah, I think so there's an anime, and like some of the images I've seen, there's like some like real life still images. I don't know if there's like an actual um like live action interpretation of
Hmm.
this like done in a
Yeah, it could be
movie.
possible there.
But like you said, like it's one of those premises where I wouldn't be surprised if there was a live action, right?
Hmm.
People are a sucker for romance comedy, or not even romance comedies, just romantic dramas, and the star-crossed love. But a lot of the things I've been seeing about this one is there's that niche audience, and I would like to say niche, hoping that it was smaller, but there's the ones out there where it's like, oh, here's another anime um, pandering to the disabled, and I'm just of all the disabilities, like an anime to pander to somebody, a medium whose whole purpose is the visual aspect of it. Why would they pander to? And I'm not saying this to be disparaging, but to blind people, like how would they pander to blind people if they cannot see the anime, right?
Exactly.
So it's just those people go get bent. The
Yeah.
other side of that is a lot of people are praising the anime because it's not one of those you were kind of mentioning it, those anime where there's the able-bodied, you know, male who just comes to the rescue and just, saves the female love interest who has the disability. But the protagonist in this one, although she's blind, she's very capable of doing a lot of things. And it's not like, oh, help me maneuver life. Like she is completely fine doing everything and conquering life on her own. So it's more you can focus less on the look at the dynamic, she's blind but he doesn't care and he loves and you can just focus on watching that relationship grow and blossom. So
Exactly.
um,
Yeah.
100%. So that's a good one, and shout out to both me and you, kind of broadening our our our
Becoming
palettes with this stuff. Yeah,
more inclusive in
yeah.
our view.
Because I'm looking at it and it's just like the genre is like drama, romance, and tragedy. I'm like, when would we have done this before this show? When
I
would we
know.
have given a show like this a chance before the show? So,
Yeah, true. So
shout out to us.
what's your first pick? What you got?
So I am also going kind of I don't want to say off the beaten path or anything like that, but it's a show which I will be honest, the initial reason I checked out this show was because I see Science Saru on it. If you know me, I'm a big fan of their studio. They're behind Dan Dan Dan. They were behind the Scott Pilgrim Takes Off
Mm.
animated show over on Netflix. They're behind the new Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, okay.
One that's over on Amazon.
Yeah.
So they are playing a part in a lot of things here, and this one is called I don't want to mess it up. Jadugur, a witch in Mongolia, and I will bring it up. Ooh, gotta make sure I switch to the right tab. There we go. Trying to produce the show and host it at the same time. There's challenges.
It
There's
happens.
challenges, but
Yeah, I've
here we
definitely
go.
liked a lot of their work, everything they've been putting out. They've been putting out some real bangers. And this art, I mean, it's a great pick, man.
And
I
that's the
just the
one.
art grabbed me.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too, because normally when people hear anime, they're expecting a certain art style, right? They're expecting a certain character design when it comes to the facial features, eyes, and things like that. And I think Science Saru has done a good job of kind of not following that status quo. Because even when you watch Dan to Dan, like the eyes are bigger, the expressions are bigger, not so much character. There are some of those scenes where the characters are just like super overly top animated with emotions and things like that. But with this one here, I thought it was good because it's from what I've been reading. I've seen a couple episodes, and it's the one anime that I would say it kind of reminds me of when it comes to that just total 180 from what you're expected from character designs. Is there's a show or an anime called Ranking of Kings. It's over on Crunchyroll, and they usually, I mean not usually, but when you look at the character designs, it's just completely different from what you're expecting. But essentially, with this one, it's a set in 13th century, kind of Middle East, right? It follows the character Satara, who's a brilliant Persian girl raised in kind of a world that is known more for magic or medical mastery, mathematics, and philosophy. So it's no real like
Knowledge,
power,
like
yeah, power system or anything like that. It's very knowledge and logic driven, right? Um, but then, of course, the Mongol Empire comes through because I think this takes place in Iran, if I'm not mistaken, but one of the Middle Eastern countries. Mongols do what Mongols do in a lot of media, right? They just come through and just ruin stuff, just like Mulan and
yeah.
so forth and so on. So slaughters everybody close to her and drag her away as a slave. So she's refusing to, of course, submit to the life where they're just like, hey, women, silent submission, all of that stuff. She renames herself Fatima, and then she uses her intellect to navigate the politics of the Mongol imperial court, right? So she's kind of adapting to the environment that she's been thrown into and finding ways to use the intricacies of their politics and stuff to her advantage to get things that she wants, right? So then she's taken under the wing of Torinji. She is the one of the wives of the Khan, right? So while working with her, Fatima essentially kind of transforms from what we known in the beginning, like a captive prisoner and a feel bad for her. Let's hope someone comes and saves her into a mastermind of the statecraft and the politics, utilizing the knowledge that she was gaining before the Mongols took over in her, her land where everybody's focused on math and things like that, and then using that to kind of reshape the fate of what some would consider like the greatest empire on Earth. So the fact that it's more not so much because when you hear the term, a witch in Mongolia, most people are thinking, oh, this is going to be like Witch Hat Atelier, Atelier and things like that. The fact that this anime does something different where they use knowledge as magic, right? So it's just you got the Mongols who at that time the presence of power is like how big is your army? You're showing up on horseback and you got
power by force.
Yeah.
Warriors. So.
Yeah, essentially. And Fatima's understanding of having that knowledge and knowing all these things, science and stuff, where she can create medicines and she can create poisons and knows psychology, like just literal knowledge. It's almost like you got the brutes who are the Mongols who only understand force, and then you have Fatima coming in with a broader understanding.
Her skills are like magic to them because it's stuff that they have no comprehension of. So even as simple as maybe making a remedy to someone who's sick is something that they would be like, wow, this person's some sort of sorcerer or witch.
So that's how they're looking at her. So that's kind of where the name comes from. But again, shout out to the creative team, Studio Science Saru, knocking it out the park. The chief director, Naoko Yamada, who was behind some very good classic, I don't want to say classic, but very, very like dramatized movies and stuff like Silent Voice, the Heike story. She brings that over, and then she teams up with one of the directors from season 2 of Dan to Dan, and also played a part in the Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. So Abel Gongora, and they come together and they put that together. And I will say because I like to incorporate the manga when I'm looking into these shows, like especially brand new properties, like what are the chances of it continuing?
Of its lifespan,
Right. So I looked into it, and let me make sure. So this one, it was more of after it won its award, because at first it was a niche following, but then it won the #1 spot in the 2023 Kono Manga rankings, and then it kind of got a little bit of traction at that point, right? So then it picked up. Right now, it's surpassed over 300,000 copies in circulation, combining physical and digital. So I'm watching it, and I'm just like, is this something that's going to continue, or is this like a self-contained story that's going to wrap up in like 20-something episodes or so? So I'm looking at it, and it's saying that the studio behind it, Tomato Soup, is actively serializing a story in the web magazine. So they're going to make a web magazine continuing Fatama's historical journey throughout the Mongol court. So, yeah. So if that's the case, hopefully the manga picks up and there's a continuation of it, and we get more of this kind of intriguing battle, or the contrast between ruling with or manipulating and ruling with actual logic, intelligence, or is it just brute force and tradition, which is how the Mongols run. So check it out. I know it's over on, I believe, Crunchyroll.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so 100%. Check that one out. That 100%. caught my
It looks
attention.
great. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the way that they kind of made the art different, because in a way you're dealing with a completely different culture. So that kind of immediately tunes you into something. And I mean, we've all seen the other historical kind of series like Vinland Saga, and I
Hmm.
mean, I know Berserk is fantasy based, but it is very feudal European in its
Yeah.
design as far as the art goes. But when you take something like this and the beauty in which they put into the art, but it's also just looking the way that it does, brings you into a different world. It feels like you're getting to experience a different culture. You know what I mean? Just because the art's different. So I love that. And the like you brought up, the whole mind over, matter, brains over bronze. And when it comes to Fatima's going to use her knowledge to keep
Yeah.
herself important. And if anyone's ever understood, like especially the time when the Mongols came, they ruled from the northern Mongolian deserts all the way to Europe. Okay, they
Hmm.
just pretty much walked over everybody. Okay,
Yep.
so you're not going to impress them with your might unless you're capable of stopping that. But the fact that she uses her brain to impress them and make herself important enough to stick around shows that the level of her intelligence and the dynamic that changes with humankind as history goes on. I mean, brute force now would not win you the world without the mind to back it. So
Right.
I think it's an awesome title. And I
Yeah.
when we were looking at all this stuff, I was like, wow, that's a great one. I had no doubt. I was like, Willie's probably gonna pick one of these up. So I was like, I'm gonna keep searching. So, but yeah, awesome pick, bro. That's a great one.
Yeah, and again, some of the reviews online is they do appreciate because it is taking place in what again I believe it to be Iran, but I know it's in the Middle East somewhere.
Hmm.
They do pay close attention to the religious activities that they do, the traditions, the praying, making sure it's facing to the east, the
Okay.
Quran being displayed in the room prominent. So it's I do appreciate like if you are going to set your show in a either time period or within a culture that has strict religious beliefs and you know activities to do them justice and not just broad stroke it like
Yeah.
show these people um,
Who they are, where they what
who
they
they
really are.
are,
Yeah.
right? So
The
shout out to them
respect
for
for the
that.
culture is awesome.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. So what's your number two?
All right. So for my number two, I picked The Cat and the Dragon. And when I'm just looking through, I normally, of course, I'm like you. I like the fantasy setting for a lot of these.
Yeah,
Isekais are usually a good way to go. You're going to catch my attention. But this is a different type of fantasy setting, not necessarily along the lines where we're so used to. Primarily because the main protagonist is a dragon. So, and it's a dragon that as you're watching this, is gonna take many forms because this is a very magically based story. But the overall basis of the story is um, there's an orphan dragon, and he ends up becoming under the care and kindness of this magical family of cats. Okay, and due to the loss of his family, he's raised by these cats and raised in their environment, and he becomes, as he grows into a larger, more powerful creature, he becomes a defender or protector of this natural habitat and these animals which have become his family.
right,
Now, being the fact that in this story, his mother was slain by humans, he grows with that initial um, anger and hatred towards the humans because
yeah,
of the fact that they view his kind as just a menace and want to destroy him, is all he's ever known. And being along with these cats, he's trying to protect them from facing that same destruction or terrible end as humans development encroaches on these natural places. So with a lot of those themes, it kind of mirrors the current world when you think about environmentalists and nature and so forth. So those themes always strike true to people who are animal lovers or nature lovers. But the one thing I did like about it is that his growing and understanding, which is also fed by his feline family of the humans, slowly kind of breaks down the hardness of his heart so where he understands. And the story, as whimsical and beautiful as the art is, as you could see, the colors, the imagery, the characters, the sharing of emotion through their expressions is really done well. It is that whimsical art, but there is also intense motion, moments in there where he's got to use his power to defend what he loves, but also, as I was saying, his hardness of his heart kind of slowly loosens up, or the walls come down as he starts to understand more about the humans. And it's not so simple as they're just bad. They just trying to destroy everything and take it. And they killed my mother, and, they ruined my, that part of my life. But as he's watching, he comes to understand the struggles and so forth of the humans. So in a way, it reminded me of Clevitus, as
Yeah.
that experience of something out of us to see the way that they view us as the humankind. And the perspective that the writers give in this is really kind of interesting, because you're like, wow, we're getting to see from the angle of this intelligent dragon creature and its magical cat family, which sounds like a PBS children's special or something. But you're getting to see the dimensions of humankind and what we would appear like to the outside world through our actions, and the fact that some of the things we do appeal to the heart of every living thing. But so it's that balance going, destruction and heart, the hard parts of it, but also you get to see the kindness and the mortality and morals as well. So it looks beautiful. I can't wait to finish the whole thing. As far as information on it comes from a light novel. I didn't see how long that is. It aired first on July 4th. It's going through to September 19th. It has a lot of praise right now, as people are enjoying the kind of break from it. It's right now, I think, on my anime. Yeah, my anime list is 7.7. So it's got some pretty good ratings. Its popularity has been going up. So I'm hoping that other people will tune in, and we can kind of expand our horizons once again. The studio is OLM. They have a lot of titles that we're all familiar with. They're going all the way back, to let's see, what would be some of those that are people's favorites here. Apothecary Diaries. So once again, you're getting into that emotional, mental kind of storytelling. It still has action, like I said, but not anything that along the lines of your average shonen. But it's definitely gotten a following. I think it deserves some eyes, and I would like to see people get to experience it and weigh in with us. Let us know what you think. Like I said, the art and so forth can make it seem really childlike and innocent. But if you delve into the story, that childlike innocence and whimsical and vivid colors are beautiful, but you also get drawn in by the story and the underlying tones that it feeds. So hopefully everybody give it a shot. If you've seen it and you liked it, and you can chime in with us, give us your opinions on what you like the best. But I really do like the emotion, the eyes, the way that they're drawing this whole thing kind of conveys a lot. So I hope everybody else gets a chance to check it out, and hopefully they like it.
Yeah, when you were mentioning kind of the the situation of the dragon, right, being raised by the cats, and knowing that humans were the cause of his mother's death, and then going on that journey to kind of adapt and, I guess, kind of overcome that hatred. I remember it was a while back, but it reminds me of one of the anime you were talking about. I think it was like something Darwin incident, or with
he was
Charlie.
a chimpanzee.
Yeah, Charlie, who
yeah.
Yep. And humans did things to his mom, and now he's living amongst the humans, kind of getting that stuff. So just trying to figure out and overcome that what could easily be, and I don't think anybody would be upset if they had bad feelings towards humans based on what humans have done to them, right? So if he would have went around and been like, F humans, F y'all, people would be like, well, it's understandable. Look what y'all did to this dude's mom,
He has grounds to be angry.
Yeah.
I
But
slayed his mom. My bad. Like, but
sorry, Dragon. That
yeah,
wasn't
sorry.
us. We had no idea you were going to be this cool. So, um,
Yeah,
I like things like that because I'm gonna be corny for a bit. I mean, in the world today, you just gotta. Sometimes maybe this is the medium that some person will be watching and give them a different outlook on something. As childish and corny as that sounds, like we can have 10,000 podcasts, 9 million, public figures sit up here and be like, hey, let's not hate people just because, right?
yeah,
Um, and people won't listen, but maybe they'll tune into an anime and be like, you know what, Darwin is right, or this cat dragon
yeah.
is right.
Yeah,
Maybe we
Uncle
can
Wings, as
overcome
he's
some
called
stuff.
in it. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
maybe I can be like him and learn to forgive or learn to give it someone a chance.
right.
And I don't think it. I think what you're saying is more important today than it has been in probably a lot of time. That we give things a chance, and right now being able to step back and look at things from another vantage point and maybe try to take a, what do they call it, like a walk in someone's shoes for a moment
Yeah,
might give us a pause before anger, or a pause before disagreement, just instead of automatically being opposition.
uh huh.
Maybe just a change of perspective can make a huge difference. So
Yeah.
maybe that, like you said, maybe that'll inspire some people to have that thought.
One can only hope, right? One can only hope.
Yeah.
Um, so my let me make sure I bring this up right. Whoop, whoop. There's so many tabs. I'm just like, what is going on over here? All right, we should be squared. So my next one is I assumed I was like Eric's probably gonna pick this one. But my next one is pretty funny. It's called Kaiju Girl
Oh
Carmelise, I
yeah.
believe I'm
Yeah.
saying right. So here's the plot. So you got Kuro Ashaki or Akashi, right? Akaishi. I'm sorry. There's an I there. Akaishi. So your standard, if you don't know the title or haven't heard it, and you just sat down and somebody was watching first part of episode one or such, you would think it was a high school rom com, all of that good
Yeah.
stuff, right? So your protagonist, socially awkward high school girl, but she has a bizarre undiagnosed chronic condition, right?
Yeah.
So to
I'd say
avoid,
that's
yeah,
chronic.
to avoid sudden flare ups, right? She
Yeah.
keeps her head down, minds her own business, isolates herself from everybody, right? Um, Obviously, you can't do that forever. So one day she looks up and there's a dude in her high school. She thinks the hottest person out there, right? I think it's Arata is his name,
Hmm.
and he's not just like hot, like he's super friendly. He's a good person, right? He's a
Yeah.
good person, pays attention to her, all of these things, and she's like, this is not what I need because she knows her condition, right?
It's gonna be
So
bad. I like it.
yeah, it turns out her condition is tied directly to romantic arousal and adrenaline, right? So
Oh no, I didn't
whenever
see
her heart whenever her heart like starts,
beating.
racing and she
Oh.
gets those feelings, right? She undergoes a physical metamorphosis, which turns her obviously into a kaiju, right? Almost Godzilla type scale. I think it's called a
Yeah.
Harugan is the name of the creature she turns into, right?
Yeah.
Um, so when she turns into this, she rampages through Tokyo, all of the things. However, the story does play out. It's just a hilarious, chaotic clash between the romantic tropes and a full throttle monster cinema, right? So it's like best of both worlds. It's an amazing thing. Let me bring it
It
up on
looks
screen,
great too.
play the trailer so you guys can be
Yeah.
like, this shit is outrageous, but I'm here for it. um, so again, it's one of those those shows where you don't have to take it too seriously. You sit
Yeah.
back and you just watch the hilarity ensue, and you start rooting for the some of the characters and things like that. So you can see how she just tries to stick to herself. Old buddy shows up. So I do like when it gets to the kaiju aspect of it. You're thinking you're watching like a
Oh
anime
yeah.
that is just directed about
Yeah, it
people
looks
take
action packed. I mean, they bring it with the action art.
100%. So it's like I said, the magical systems purity powered by just teenage emotion. Um, it doesn't always go full kaiju, like minor embarrassments, like she'll trip, fall in front of somebody. So it'll be like localized mutations, like claws on her hand or like scales will appear on her face. So she just tries to just stay away from all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so the studio behind it, Linden Films, we kind of talked to them last episode. They do Tokyo Revengers, Call of the Night. I do like their style for this one because they do kind of do the soft watercolored
Yeah.
tinge romance aesthetics for when it's the rom com thing, but then they get into the gritty destruction packed, like you see here, like when it gets to the monster and the kaiju setting. So
Yeah.
very well done how they kind of do best of both worlds and they can capture both things like that. Um, the series compositions done by Unico Ayana, who has done Seven Deadly Sins. So not
Mhm.
animated Deadly Sins, but composed the series. So we're not putting all that on them. The
Yeah.
downfall of that. Um, my anime list is giving it a 7.5, which I do kind of lean more towards the my anime list because you got more people who are dedicated to watching it and
Yeah.
giving it the um, the due diligence of watching it through and
Yeah, they have more of
voice.
a broad fan base watchers instead of, just certain styles.
Yeah. But then again, on I believe, let me see what the other ones give it. Yeah. I swear I just had it on the screen. I'll be having so much stuff on the screen. Where are we looking at? Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. We are looking at. Oh, here we go. Crunchyroll 4.8 out of 5 stars.
That's really good.
Yeah,
I was
but
that's
again, we
surprising.
talked to like Crunchyroll. If 4.5 and up seems to be the gist. If you're like down to a 4, and if you got a 3 point anything, like it's
Yeah.
more likely it's not it. But
Yeah.
to me, I rock with it, man. 12 count, 12 episodes of it. Regarding the manga, uh, so the commercial, it was a steady mid tier cult performer, right? Again,
Mhm.
it's one of these that probably didn't do too well in Japan, but the strong Western appeal is kind of what gave it second life. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So regarding if it's going to be ongoing, if it's wrapping up, I believe it has. So according to the studio that produces the manga, Katakawa, it
Mhm.
hasn't published an official cumulative milestone figure for the series yet. Volume drops did not hit the 15 to 20,000 physical unit weekly threshold to register on, I think it's Oricon is the one who kind of tracks all that. It's like their, I don't say the billboard for manga over there, but they just kind of put
Yeah.
that up there. Um, but they're kind of estimating between physical Japanese printing, sales, and all of that stuff that it's probably mid to low six-figure range, probably like under 200,000 copies running. However, they do continue to push new chapters in Karakoa's monthly comic Alive magazine. So it's
Okay.
still going, right?
Yeah.
Releases typically follow a slower, deliberate schedule between collected volumes. So it's not one of those that's, one and done. They do have the opportunity. I'm assuming they're just going to see how the anime is received to see if they want to continue and push forward with like a second season of this one. But
Do we know how much this initial season has covered as far as the volumes go? Because they have 6 volumes, right? So do we know how far? Because they end in September, right? Middle September
yeah,
for this the anime. So I'm wondering how far into those 6 volumes they're actually covering with this first season.
yeah. So it says the anime adaptation adapts the completed 64 chapter manga at a measured deliverable pace across its 12 episodes. Rather than rushing to massive chunks of plot, the anime takes its time with character exposition and emotional breathing room.
Okay.
So, faithful arc structure. Early episodes focus closely on setting up the romantic beats, contrasting them with sudden monster transformations, matching the first several volumes of the source material step by step.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. Well, I guess that's all.
yeah,
I guess that's the entire thing within the first season. Sounds like.
we'll see. Like I said, they're slowly releasing more.
Yeah, they're still
Um,
making it, so that
yeah,
gives
and I
possibility
mean,
for growth.
yeah, and the way it's being picked up and received, I guess the manga side of it on the in the West, maybe that may give them cause to hey, let's just kind of focus more on producing this for the West.
Yeah.
Without alienating obviously our Japanese main audience, and we'll see where this goes. But I, for one, am all for it. There's a handful of rom coms that have made my Crunchyroll watch list. So whenever new episodes pop up, I get a notification for it.
Right.
So,
Ding.
and this is absolutely one of them. Again, I love the duality of the series, the animation. Linden Films stepped up. I like it. Shout out. So,
Yeah.
Kaiju Girl of Carmelise, check it out, guys.
Yeah. Good pick. Good pick. Looks interesting.
All right, what you got for number 3, my guy?
All right. So for my last pick, I was debating here because I actually have two more, but the one that's actually a summer release that I was looking at was the Iron Walk John or
Oh,
Jan.
this
Okay.
this one looks good.
Yeah, and it's a cooking competition slash comedy slash. I mean, it's got a lot going on. Okay, as far as anime goes, you can't just pigeonhole this one. It covers a lot. Okay, and as far as some of it goes, the hilarity in ensues because you've got the primary character Jan and his overall rival, which is the primary female of the show. Let me see, uh, Kiriko. Okay, so they're in competition, and the way this whole thing starts to just tell you how crazy it can be is Jan is John. It's pronounced John, but it's spelled Jan. Is a
Mhm.
descendant of like this world-renowned, famous Chinese restaurant family owner kind of thing. The greatest chef of Chinese restaurants known in Japan. Okay, so he comes from a very storied family, and his grandfather, this amazing chef, had lost his ability to taste. Okay, basically his taste buds were dying. So he decided life was no longer worth living and offs himself by way of fire. Okay, so as horrible as it sounds and extreme, there's now a competition for who's going to pick up the torch and carry forward. Of course, John wants it to be him because it's part of his family, and he is an incredible chef. I mean, going outside of every norm to just add one fine ingredient that just blows everybody away. Okay, he is amazing, but his ego and his personality is almost twisted and dark to the levels he will go to crush his enemies as far as these
Yes.
food competitions go. And Kiriko is more the passion and love for the food and cooking. So their competition is ensuing, and of course, he is amazing, she is gifted, so they're going to be clawing at the top. But also, the presentation of food and stuff in this just makes you want to hit up your local like Asian food place or food trucks or whatever. You're like, man, this is making me hungry. But it looks great, and it's actually a revival of a manga from the '90s, which came out around the
Yeah.
mid '90s and was very popular at the time. So the art is a perfect rendition being brought to the series as far as like paying homage to the original manga, and it had a pretty large fan base then, and now it's expanding to the newer generations who are watching, and it's fun. I mean, it's fun and it's really well done, and the throwback and the art is reminiscent for any fans of older anime or the hand drawn eras of the early to mid '90s. This is very reminiscent of that. You'll see a lot of that. You'll see a lot of the influences of that manga from the 90s that has come all the way up to current manga. So a lot of the action and so forth and the way in which these characters are presented, you'll say, hey, that's familiar to some of the stuff I watch now. And you'll see where, they got their origins, or, people may have touched base and say, hey, this was an influence of mine. So art wise, it's definitely up there. It's very beautifully presented. The food and everything looks immaculate. Currently on my anime list, it's a 7.2. A lot of people are enjoying the comic side of it, and the overall setting, especially those who are foodies and into the whole genre of food competitions. This is on that level, and also brings out some of those stereotypical things of chefs and their sous chefs and all that kind of situations where things get crazy in the kitchen. So it was not something I ever saw on my radar, but once we were out there researching and it came up, I started watching the trailer and started reading into the background. I'm like, this is actually pretty interesting, and I like the way that they've done it. They bring it in a way that it feels almost like one of those fighting style animes. The way that they present it, it's like you're like, wow, is this Street Fighter or King of Fighters or something? No, it's actually a cooking show. So definitely check it out. Once again, we're stepping out of the norm, because over here at Eat the Cake, we like to present you with other options. We all love all the high action, deep adventure journeys and great stories, but sometimes you need that palate cleanser. This is one of those. Give you a moment, have it on the screen, make you laugh, maybe while you're cooking dinner. So this is my third pick. I do have another one, but I want to move on and let Willie throw out another prize, because man, we've got a lot this summer, guys. We got a lot.
We do. And when it came to that one, like I saw it and I'm like, oh, this is, maybe this is like Food Wars at home for those that watch Food Wars, but this one does, I would say, if you're into cooking stuff, like Food Wars is kind of a staple when it comes to that. But if you want to be able to watch an anime without people looking at you sideways, because Food Wars does a lot of the sexual innuendos, a lot of that stuff when it comes to preparing the food, the reaction of people when they taste the protagonist's food, and they're just, the like, noises they make. Like, my wife was looking at me like, what are we watching? Like, what is this?
Like,
and I'm just like,
wow.
That's just how good his food is, babe. Like, I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah, that's some amazing dish. Woo.
Right. Where did they serve that? I'll have what he's having. You know?
Please, double mine.
But to your point, this is more set up like a battle thing. One, like you said, one has been raised in probably the most strictest of, cooking, lessons and methods. And then the other one's like, I cook with love and the care and all that. And this dude's just like, I'm cooking to crush people. So it's just the contrast of that is what makes you watch it. And Jean is just over the fucking top. Like, you can tell by his character designs, you can see he has the fangs in his mouth. You're just like, is this dude a monster?
Maniacal laughter for everything. Like, wow, dude, this is straight up villain.
Right. Like, and sometimes you need characters like that, right? Not so much necessarily evil, but based on his backstory, you can kind of understand why he's so intense with why he cooks the way he does. But it's just hilarious to watch the contrast between the two characters. But absolutely. Like you were mentioning, we like the action, we like the shonen and stuff. So how can we wrap this episode up without us talking about one of the biggest shonen that are out here right now? So none other than Black Torch.
Yes.
So Black Torch was talked about leading up to Black Torch being released in the animated form. A lot of people were already kind of downplaying it in some anime communities, saying, oh, we got Naruto at home. We got JJK at home. We got whatever at home. Which, in a sense, it's one of those where it is what it is at this point. If you're doing a shonen, if you're doing any kind of thing, I'm pretty sure there is a property or a idea that was already done, and you're just redoing it with slight little twists and stuff to it, right?
Small changes, but overall, the general outline is Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so for those of you who are like, oh, this is you just watch Naruto, then just go watch Naruto, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's making you watch Black Torch, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is JJK at home. Then just go wait for the next season of JJK or go rewatch JJK and just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy,
Yeah.
right? So, with that being said, not to sound too negative, um, it's I don't want to say it's kind of like your basic shonen plot, but your main protagonist, Jiro Azuma, he's a delinquent high schooler. Check, right? Check the box.
Mhm.
From a storied lineage of shinobi who possess the ability to talk to animals fluently, right? When I first watched it, it reminded me of Bleach, where
Yeah.
Ichigo was able to talk to spirits and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
Kind of gives you an insight of what may be coming. Um, so while he's out there talking to animals and stuff, lands him in street fights with bullies, kind of like Ichigo was. And then he finds a severely injured black cat in the woods. So he's obviously, hey, let me talk to you. The cat's name is Rago, and it's in a midst, like just one of the most powerful Mononoke, so like immortal spirits on the run from road demons. So of course they form this bond. Um, he possesses Jiro, and they kind of become a hybrid weapon, right? So he's recruited then by the Bureau of Espionage's secret Black Torch Squad to hunt down malevolent demons threatening the human realm. So a lot of people say it's like Naruto because he's possessed by this thing and it gives him his power, like Naruto had the Nine Tails Beast in him. I think it's low key more akin to Bleach
Yeah.
because
I agree.
he's out there. They're fighting the hollows that are out there trying to take human spirits to the Nether and all that stuff. He joins the Soul Society to go and battle that stuff. So that's kind of like I don't want to say it's pretty bland, but it's just a pretty straightforward thing, right? So when you
Yeah.
get shows like this, the story's only going to be so deep, and you're just here for the fights. Which sometimes that's all motherfuckers want, is to be
Yeah.
here for the fights, and I'm motherfuckers. Like I'm here for the fights. That's
I'm
me.
one of them sometimes,
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
half the time. That's what I want. So
100%. So the team behind this 100 Studio, the manga or the streaming, I think my anime list last time I checked had it at a 7.4. And let me just check this. Oh, it's been updated. So now it's 7.1. Trying to see some of the non-recommended things. So this person recommends it or not recommends it, but starts off right out the gate. We meet thrilling, complex characters: angry young man, angry old man, angry magic cat, angry demon. Later, this breathtaking tour de force of writing talent on displays continues to impress, bringing us angry young man number two, angry middle aged man, angry young woman.
yeah, I mean, seriously, you want to get into it like that, you could probably break down, I would say,
Every
70% of shonen into those categories for characters. And I mean,
yeah,
like you said, starting open, we got our delinquent, I mean, that's pretty much standard base, but the fact is when you add the little nuances into the story,
uh huh,
that's what's either going to grab you or not. And if it's not your cup of tea, then cool, keep it stepping. But if it is, you might find just something in there, this niche that
yeah,
makes it your, like that's mine. And this one, if you miss Bleach, like you said, I feel
mhm,
it's a lot like Bleach.
yeah.
So if you want to carry on more in that vein, a category, here you go.
Some of the other complaints, is a lot of fan service. So they do show one of the female characters like she's drawn well, and
John.
the artist wants to let you know they're drawn well, right? So it's a
It's
lot of
accurate,
yeah, a lot of fan service, I would say in that.
very
But
detailed.
again, it's one of those
Whoa.
for those who want to know. But the the main thing, like I said, it's this sounds bad. It's junk food. Like here's a Snickers bar. It's sugar. It's sugar. It's sugar. And this is just what you want, like chocolate, caramel, nougat. all the things. That's what this is. It's going to give you your visual and your audio, and dopamine. You're just woo. This is
Yeah.
fucking amazing. Music slaps. The animation for the fight slap. It is one of those where like you can't go wrong. And I will say this: this is one of the episodes. This is one of the shows you don't have to watch now. Based on what I've seen, the manga only ran for 19 chapters, and the reason for that is because it just was not picking up and selling well in Japan. Right? It didn't really make any noise over here in the West. However, again, you can look at my anime list and these other ratings, which I believe. Where's my note sheet at? IMDb gives it a 7.6, and of course, Crunchyroll is like 4.8 out of 5. So I will say the reception over on the West since the anime has come out has picked up. Now I don't know if it's going to be enough for the company to start to recirculate or try to come up with more stories about the Bureau of what's their long name? Bureau of Espionages. Uh, and the continuation of the Black Torch Squad. I hope it does because to just have 12 episodes of this kind of action, this kind of animation, I would hate to see it not continue. But we'll see again. Not everybody's like Netflix to be like, oh, this isn't enough. I'm not going to continue it.
Yeah.
But a lot of businesses do have to operate to make money, right? So we'll see how it goes. But again, it's kind of being hit with a lot of pretentious, like, this isn't real anime. You can go watch this. This is just cut and paste stuff. This is just X, Y, and Z. But in the essence of things, it's a good watch. It's only 12 episodes. It's 12 episodes. You can knock it out, watch it. You don't have to watch previous episodes for backstories. You don't have to worry about continuing and waiting for this to go down. It's just, unfortunately, a one time thing, which, from what I'm seeing and from a lot of reviews from non stuck up anime fans, right? It's a banger. It scratches the action anime itch that people aren't seeing since Kaiju's on the hiatus, Dan's on the hiatus, Solo Leveling's on the hiatus. So it's wide open for it. And there's a couple more high impact kind of shonen type anime that are out there. Which I know if you got one or two more to talk about, we can get into those as well. Since
let's go ahead and touch on some of these because, like you said, there's some right now that are trying to fill that gap, and I think that they could use some eyes. And you never know if given the opportunity, you might be walking on to the next big thing. But you got to give it a chance. You got to let it get its feet under it.
Right.
But not everything's gonna be your straight out the box Dan or Solo Leveling. You got some of them. You're gonna have to give it time to build and become something. Give it a chance to be different.
Right.
So
did you have one?
I did, and this one I'm gonna confess and apologize to everyone right off the bat. It's not a summer pick. Okay, it was a overlooked spring pick, but it's got a lot of momentum this summer. Is why I wanted people to check it out. It didn't really cross radars. It was a blip. So it disappeared. Didn't get a lot of eyes on it in the springtime, but now it's becoming more, people are catching on. And it could be because it is from a Chinese studio. Therefore, it didn't get all the notoriety initially. A lot of times these get lost in the shuffle as they're brought on into different things. So it is released on Crunchyroll and it's called Release That Witch. It's a isekai. It's basically revolves around a modern day European man who dies and then awakens in a medieval style fantasy world. Okay, so nothing new there. It's not something that's going to break the mold like we've been saying, but he's reborn as a prince. Prince Roland is his name in this medieval styled world, which is pretty much set in that familiar setting and art. They do the art very well, which has been the case for a lot of these Chinese properties being released. The art is done well. Their incorporation of CG, they do use a lot of it, and as a as an anime fan, you'll probably notice right off the bat, like, hey, some of the movement and stuff seems, how I call it, like generic as far as when CG happens. It just the motion feels fabricated. It doesn't feel as original as like things like some of the sports ones that you've brought up, Willie, where you could tell they put a lot of depth and time into animating that like the competition where they were the running competition.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautifully done.
Right.
This, you could see those spots, but overall the animation stays pretty strong. And I would compare it a lot to Vinland Saga as far as the level and the attention to cultural and historic detail when it comes to the art is done very well. Voice acting, this is another one where I feel like the voice acting's done well. There's no parts where you feel like you have to get up there. What? But the being that it's in Chinese always has that strange effect for me because it's not so common for me. So it's harder to follow. Like I don't feel as familiar. But I always watch the the sub, so it doesn't really matter. I'm reading. It is fantasy set, but getting back to the story, as this individual is reborn as Prince Roland, he gets his immediate moments. He runs into an execution of a witch, which he interferes with and stops, and ends up saving this witch, Anna. He still has the knowledge from the world he comes from, so he is very advanced as far as technology and so forth, and wants to help these people get there. But the difference thing here for these people is he wants to incorporate the magic of these witches into their growth. So he decides with his kingdom, this gray castle, which is his kingdom in this place, he's going to ask the witches and try to recruit them to be part of his empire, and he's going to use them and his knowledge of technology to make it better. And like I said, the art's really done excellently. It's reminiscent to me of things like Vinland Saga, Berserk, the detail to the characters. There is CGI in it, and you'll catch it. But overall, you can still see the passion the artist brought in as bringing this world to life for people. The action is good, but it's also the surrounding details of bringing technology to these people, making the difference there. Like he knows enhancing the financial area, the economic area of his kingdom will do huge things to making his kingdom excel over other kingdoms. So it's things that we would know in our world that, like we were talking about with Fatima in the Witch in Mongolia, knowledge and knowledge and the skills here over brawn. So he brings the idea of firearms, how to manufacture these firearms, enough to help support his kingdom. The witches being incorporated, use their magic to strengthen the kingdom's ability to reach these goals. So overall, the art is beautiful. The incorporation of magic is done very well. The special effects, what we've come to know from a lot of these things like some of the Korean studios, like with Solo Leveling and so forth, they bring a lot of that action-packed energy into these animated moments of combat or the examples of magic. They do a great job in this series. If you like the semi-historical based fantasy, this is another great addition. Currently, it's got it was aired from March through April 20th of 2026, so right in the middle of the spring season, but not a lot of eyes caught onto it. And recently, it's just jumped up. My anime list has it at 8.1, so they've given it some serious nods. A lot of the people speaking say that it surprised them. They they wanted walking into it. If you're a fan of isekai, you're used to the way that the normal story goes, but it kind of switches gears right away within the first few episodes, and then you're like, oh wow, so this is not just a common one, because normally you'll see the main character seems more either hidden powers or a level of which their own power or ability makes them stand out so much. In this one, it's a lot like you're talking with Fatima. His mind makes him stand out. His knowledge and him wanting to accept these witches and not destroy them is something totally alien to these people. But once they start doing it, that idea, they see the rewards of broadening their mind right away. They're like, wow, these witches are capable of doing so much that benefits people too. So it kind of touches on those judging things and judging people before judging out of fear, judging out of falsehoods and things that you believed, stereotypes. And then when they start accepting them, they're like, wow, okay, we all can benefit if we just take a step back and learn from each other. So in that little message that you get in the side, the background of the story is there. So I hope people check it out because I like to see it grow. I do like it that we're seeing stuff churning out of these other studios. Like when we've talked about Crunchyroll's awards, a lot of these other studios were left out because it wasn't produced directly by a Japanese studio. But I think if we broaden that, we might get more award shows where we get to see more stuff with these foreign studios bringing in, and Lord of Mysteries is one of those examples. Missed out on such a great entry into the whole, anime field, animation, just because it's not created in a Japanese studio. So, and some of these are hand in hand. So just because it's not made in Japan, you have Japanese studios or Japanese writers or Japanese artists working as well. So you get a lot of that familiarity that you already love. Plus you get the insight and ingenuity of other cultures getting to bring in their ideas. So
Right.
I thought it's great. I hope people check it out. The art alone caught my attention right away because I'm a sucker for that kind of like detail and stuff. It looks good.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I think that's the biggest thing when you just visually see it and it pulls you in. You know nothing of the story. I think it's one of those things like, hey, presentation is key, right? If you present something nice, chances are high somebody will tune in and look. But to your point again, just to have that dynamic, not everything needs to be, fighting, brute force, who has the highest magic power, sometimes strategy, being cunning, just looking at it from another side and appreciating that. Me and you and a lot of others are big fans of Death Note, right? It wasn't a whole lot of magical, outside of the I'm gonna write your name in this book and you'll die, but it's the cunningness, the intelligence, the logic, the scheming, all of that stuff to make it such a great and thrilling watch and read if you're reading the manga of it. So I feel having more of these are good because when you try to introduce people to manga or to anime, a lot of people like watching some live action, like whatever, right? And I love the fact that anime, there's so many genres of it. You can pretty much recommend a show to somebody that is in their wheelhouse already and not try to force somebody to like something that's not in their wheelhouse, if that makes sense. And also, to your point, I know we have a very small voice in the community, but Crunchyroll and all these anime shows, like you guys got to do better with including these things. Like if you want to make it Japan only, then just say that. But if you're saying anime as a whole, the term anime, depending on who you ask, may just mean, well, it has to be in Japan. But you have great shows that have been snubbed. To Be Hero X, Super Cube, a lot of these shows that are Chinese based that don't get love. However, your Korean based manhwas that do get animated in Japan, like your Solo Leveling and things, they're getting fucking praise all over the place. So I do feel it needs to be a better job in capturing all studios to give everybody
include stuff, man. Bring it in because the only thing it's doing is inspiring the growth in other areas. I mean, look what, like you mentioned, Netflix is dropping stuff now that's US based, and it's been, it may be properties or a title that we're familiar with from anime, but Netflix is trying to pick it up. If we want to see more of that, we've got to open the doors.
Yeah.
Netflix isn't going to drop any money on something or invest in something if it's going to be shut down just because it wasn't made in America or in Japan. I'm like, do we want to see more? Do we want to see growth? Do we want to see some anime that, hey, I mean, To Be Hero X is tragically excluded in a lot of stuff when it really came and brought a lot of ideas and different approaches to the way that, just the fact where it goes, the art changes with each battle was just incredible. It was a great idea. So I'm with you on that, bro.
All right. So this next one, I'm hesitant to bring it up because I know I. So you don't hate solo leveling. You just hate the overhype that solo
Yeah,
leveling is getting.
it's a beautifully done. I mean,
Right.
solo leveling is beautiful, and
Right.
the action is intense.
But you're like, I need a little bit more sustenance. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more substance. So with that, I bring the final show I'd like to talk about. It's called Tomb Raider King, right? And it's based on a manhwa that has 412 chapters. So it can go. It has legs if it gets received well. And so far, it's there. I don't see them stopping.
Yeah.
Um, so the premise is you got. Oh, let me bring this to the stage so people can see what I'm talking about. Right, that would help. So the premise, we're thinking mid 2020s, I believe, and monstrous tombs, right? So in a key, kind of similar to solo leveling, how dungeons will pop up, right? And you have your dungeon hunters to go there to beat it, so the dungeon closes and monsters don't come out. So you have tombs that suddenly erupt across the globe, each one having supernatural relics tied to world mythology, history, folklore, all these things. People who go in there and conquer the tombs hoard these relics from corporates, monopolies that want to go in there and do all of that stuff. Because they want to do that to reduce ordinary people to disposable pawns. So if you get these relics, you're kind of you can you can power up and so forth and so on. So our main character, Soo Jae Hoon, um, is the one of the world's most capable raiders, right? So he's betrayed, cornered, murdered by his corrupt corporate employer. As he dies, a crow relic triggers, sending his consciousness 15 years into the past, right to the dawn of the tomb phenomenon. So he goes into the past to where tombs first come out. So then it turns into one of those things where, hey, I am from the future, so I know a lot about these tombs more than you guys know now. So kind of almost a isekai, if you will, because he goes back into the past armed with knowledge from the future, and he
Yeah.
uses that to um, uh, kind of start taking revenge. Like I know how these works. He starts getting all these relics, so he then turns into the super powered relic hunter. Very similar. A lot of people are saying this is we got solo leveling at home. I do want to say there are some things that to me um, kind of drive it differently, right? And here's my two big things: the protagonist personality. Uh, Jinwoo is the noble protector, right? He's like, I got these powers. I'm gonna do everything I can to save people that need saving because he does kill bad people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, he's a noble protector. Starts out as weak as humble, grows stronger. He just becomes this stoic, cool-headed protector who fights to save family, humanity, and the world, right? Classic. Hey, we love that. Nothing wrong with somebody who wants to protect people. And Tomb Raider King, Jong Hu is cynical,
Mm-hmm.
very petty.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about saving the world. He cares about revenge and absolute control. Almost the anti-hero, which is
Yeah.
a buzzword that goes around. But um, Jo Hoon is definitely the anti-hero, right? He uses blackmail, manipulation to outsmart greedy corporations. He's, the chaotic villain to his enemies and almost making it like a Robin Hood to other people, right? Like, hey, down with the big pharma,
Yeah. Down
down
with
with
those
big,
the
yeah.
powers that be. Yeah.
Yep, yep. Also, the power system, like solo leveling, is kind of done like classic MMORPG. Gain experience points. You can use those experience points to level up whatever you want to level up. In Tomb Raider King, the powers come from the actual relics. So, like if you pick up Alexander the Great Sword, Pandora's Box, all these things, right? The relics are sentient, right? So each relic, they have egos. They can talk, feel
Yeah.
fear, tantrums. So they have emotions and things like that. Some of the relics try to trick their users, so that aspect of it, whereas it's just not beat dungeon, level up. There's
Yeah.
the the interaction between Ji-hoon and the actual relics. So he has to try to, I don't want to say like Pokemon, but when you get them, they're kind of unruly. So you have to try to break the will of the relics to submit to you.
Like earning their mutual
Right.
respect, your ability to
Yeah.
interact. Like it's got to be. You don't
It's
just
like
suddenly become more powerful.
I got you. Now you listen
Yeah.
to me. It's not a genie. Like you don't rub the
Yeah.
relic and the relic's like, I am yours to serve forever, you know?
Yeah.
It's almost like if you do watch Pokemon, like when Ash got Charizard, right?
Yeah. It
Or
takes you got to.
Charmander, and Charmander's like, man, get bit, right? Because he leveled. Because no, wait, Charmander was cool. Then it went to Charmeleon, like the little teenage form of him. And Ash was like, hey, do that. And Charmeleon's like, man, get bit. Because he didn't have enough experience point. He
Like
didn't
whatever,
earn
man.
yeah. Like he's just laying on the rock, blowing, like breathing flamethrower on Ash. Ash is
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like you have to train and earn the trust and the respect of it. And then the fourth one is more like, um, it's I think it's just more because instead of dungeons, right? It's not like monster raids. It's not like Leroy
Yeah.
Jenkins go in there and come out with King, Tomb Raider King. It's like I want to say almost like Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, these things open all over. You got to solve puzzles and all of this stuff to go through the
Yeah.
dungeon.
It's not just slaughter monsters.
It's not like
Don-
show up in the dungeon, the boss is here. It's like we have to get to the boss. So
Yeah.
it's like, like I said, Indiana Jones, you got to solve this part to get to this room, decode historical traps, hidden relics, and all that other stuff. So it's like a national treasure, Indiana Jones, one of those things, like legit Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And then the last one, and then I'll pass it over to you. So the thing I like about Tomb Raider King, while Joe is the leader, right? He's the main person you're coming to watch. He builds like a team around him, right? A team of raiders. Um, so they all depend on each other. They all have different things that they bring, right? Team chemistry, the banter, all of that stuff. With solo leveling, I get it. It's in the name solo, right?
Yeah.
Dude is just a one man army, and you get amazing fights, feats of power, all of that stuff. But that's why when people are just like, "Hey, that's just solo leveling at home," I'm like, it's absolutely not. Like, Surface, you're looking at, they're both fast food, right?
Yeah.
But this one I think this one is more your Steak and Shake than your McDonald's.
Yeah,
if that makes
exactly,
sense, right?
exactly. You're getting a little more substance. You're getting a little more with your meal than you do. Because I agree with you. All your points were perfect. He's definitely more. He has more depth than Jinwoo as far as a character. As far as I feel like when you're watching it, because they put more into his personality, and because from the get go of his backstory, his drive is not just to be. I'm just trying to become more powerful. His drive is, yo, y'all fucked me over. Now I got my turn. I'm gonna do what I can. And like you said, it is petty, but at the same time, it's vengeance on a level that he's using this too. He's like, I came with the knowledge from what you're going to be, and I'm gonna stop you from ever getting there. And I like the art because I feel like solo leveling when it comes to combat, man, you can't knock it. Okay, their combat and their speed and in which the special effects hit off, it's top notch. It's up there, for me with like 2B Hero X, all along the line, the great. But the average parts of the episodes seem very vanilla, like the backgrounds and stuff aren't given a lot of time or detail or attention. It doesn't feel like this feels a little bit more like, maybe not as top end when it comes to all the action and the special effects, but the overall art quality brings a little more grit and style to the characters, in my opinion, when you watch it. Because I couldn't pick Jin Woo out of a crowd of people on that show unless he's using his powers, because they all kind of look, like I said, it's very vanilla. But in this one, I feel like there's a little more personality brought to each character's drawing or the drawn version of them.
Yeah.
And it feels more I don't know, fleshed out. I don't know how to put that, but all your points I feel are spot on, bro. I mean, this is not just a cheap knockoff. If anything, there are similarities, dungeons,
Right.
fighting like that. But as far as the relic powers, remind me more like Gachukuda. The way
Yeah.
that it's an object that it becomes part of the focus of the power, but also it's the historical nature in which they brought to these objects. When you watch, like the fact that they touch on these other cultural historic things, Alexander the Great sword, Pandora's box, they're bringing in mythologies from all over. It's not just, and like you said, when he faces a challenge, it's not just, I'm going to hack through all these monsters and then take their souls and then they're going to go fight for me. That's pretty much, I feel like that's a Power Rangers approach. Like every episode of Solo Leveling kind of follows the same,
Mhm.
Get to the dungeon, kill the monsters, get to the boss, kill the boss.
Yeah.
He's now my bitch. Next dungeon. And it's like, and every battle, it's the same too. Like running, he's so powerful. I'm running out of my power. Up, found a new level of my power. Bam. Like it's like I called out my Megazord. Bam.
Right.
This one's more, we work together. This relic, I'm getting stronger using this relic because the relic is now empowering me more as the trust builds, as our bond builds. And then my team and I are all good at something and we're going to overcome this challenge and then we'll face a boss or something. And, it's not all the time that I'm just going to be tougher and better. Suddenly, I've unlocked a new power level. It's like, no, I figured this out. I'm going to use, some skill and puzzle solving to beat this boss. So no one can say Solo Leveling isn't amazing, but if you want same kind of category and same kind of ideas and follow it, but with a little bit more diversity and a little bit more depth, I feel like this is the way to go. I think people will like it if they just give it a chance and not just write it off as a clone. To me, clone insinuates the same or less than the original. I feel like this one would be parallel and then have high points that are better. And then also, of course, Soul Leveling is going to have points that are better, but they're not just exactly the same,
Right.
So give it a chance. Check it out. If you like Soul Leveling, I'm pretty sure you're going to like this
You're
too.
gonna like this one, 100%.
Yeah. So I think it's a great pick, bro.
Appreciate it. So yeah, we're about our 90 minutes, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. There are plenty more out there. If you are looking for suggestions and things like that, we did link in the description. I know over on our YouTube page we did the channel that kind of pointed us in the direction of some of these shows for us to get into. Mother's Basement. So
Yeah.
if you get a chance, go check that channel out. Give it a like, subscribe, all the good
video
things.
review from him.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and return to our regularly scheduled programming and wrap this episode up. If I can find the segue video. They're all over the place. There we go. Awesome episode, man.
Yeah, same.
Great picks from you.
Yeah.
And stay tuned because I'm pretty sure Jackie may jump in the comments somewhere and start throwing her picks in here. Or, we'll have possibly maybe Patreon exclusive, like a little bonus episode to see what she's looking into. Because I love how she's also, I don't want to say an abstract when it comes to finding these shows, but she does have a
unique
kind of a gift
Yeah.
when it comes to, hey, I see this show and I'm just like, oh, let me add that on there. So shout out to Jackie. Hope you're doing well.
She finds music too. I don't know if that's part of her search is like badass music for it, but she does. So
100%. But that's all we got. Like we said, summer is packed. The spring is obviously packed. There's never so far, like if it's hard to find the time to watch these anime, I feel that's a good thing because when you do find those windows of when you can sit down and watch, it's guaranteed there's something amazing for you to watch.
Absolutely.
So if you're not taking our advice, like I said, there's just Google summer anime and Google will hey, here's what you got coming down the pipe. So,
yeah.
A lot of great things to watch. Stay tuned. Obviously, we're talking the bonus episode, but Summer anime. We got shonen, we got rom com, we got drama, we got tragedy, romance,
Yeah, we
all
got
the
everything.
things, all the things. So in the comments, let us know what you're tapped into. Did we touch on any shows that you're into, or if there's someone that you're watching and we haven't been keen or put on, let us know,
Yeah.
and we'll give it a shot, 100%. You got anything else for me, Jay?
No, just like you. Thanks for checking in and allowing us to sift through all the mania coming down the pipe. And trust me, when we look at this stuff, we have you guys in mind too, but we appreciate you guys throwing out the same thing. Like, you see something you're pretty sure we'll be on to, hit us up, let us know, because we'll check it out. I mean, that like Willie said, so much good content. There's always going to be something. Opening that horizon lets you check out other stuff, and then it just broadens the things you can look at when you're checking out anime. So,
Yep.
by all means, hit us up, give us some input, give us your opinions, and I don't, just out there, don't be mad. I love solo leveling too, guys. I love it for what it is. I'm just pointing out the fact that if you like that and you want to see other things, check it out, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry so much about we had that at home versions. Look,
Yeah.
sometimes you're gonna like that version at home better than what you picked
Yes.
up when you were out. Okay,
Yes.
so trust me, dinner at home sometimes is 10 times better than picking up that McDonald's. Try it, okay?
I
But
like it.
all right, thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Yep. All right, man. Till next time, you guys take care. Peace.